Hey everybody, RetroPie guy here. Today I'm going to do a demo and review of the EVERDRIVE 64 X5 N64 Cartridge. So, you may have seen this product before, and I've actually watched a whole bunch of videos on this because that's how I found out about it. And while those videos are really in-depth and really great in a lot of ways, they lack simplicity and they don't really give you a clear understanding right off the bat of what this thing actually does. So I'm going to get into this today and just do a very basic and very simple review and talk about exactly what this does first, and then we'll jump into plugging this into the N64. I'll do a few demos for you and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So what this does is it's basically your N64 cartridge, right? It looks just like a regular N64 cartridge, but cool thing about this is it has a micro SD card slot right here. So if I push that, you'll see I have my micro SD card in here. And what I've done on this micro SD card is I've loaded on ROMs for literally every single N64 game ever made. I've put in US releases as well as Japanese releases. I've even put on hacks, homebrews, what else? I've put on literally every single Nintendo Entertainment System game because those are compatible on here. So this one card has tons and tons of games, every single N64 game, every single Nintendo Entertainment System game, prototypes, hacks, custom games, just literally everything for the N64 console. So this goes right into this slot, you push it in, clicks right into place, and now you're able to play every single one of those games that you've loaded on here on your original N64 console. So it's really amazing that you can play all of that from one cartridge and you don't have to go out there and scan the globe looking for these original games. So when I picked up my original console, I got it on eBay, it was refurbished, it was really cheap price, really happy with it, but then I immediately started going out looking for games. And what I found right out of the door was it's really hard to find reliable games. There's a bunch of replicas out there. I actually picked up a replica for one of the games I was trying to get into, which I honestly, in all fairness, could care less, but it crapped out on me halfway through the game. Actually, it was WCW NWO Revenge, which was one of my favorite games growing up. I was a huge WCW fan in the 90s, and I actually got into one match, it was running great, and then it crapped out on me halfway through the first match. So it wasn't even halfway through the game, it was halfway through the first 10 minutes that I was playing on there. So I think that cost me like 15 bucks or something like that. Now maybe it was 25, whatever the case may be. It was too much for a cartridge that didn't work. So I went out there looking for genuine ones, and I was a little bit more careful about what I searched for, and I found some genuine ones, and they looked like somebody ran them over with a truck. People said that they worked 100% or whatever, but I wasn't about to spend, I think it was, I want to say like 45 bucks or something like that for a cartridge that looked like it got run over by a truck. So I found one that was pristine and the guy wanted like $85 for it. I'm not looking to spend $85 for one single game. I'm not trying to make an investment like that. You know, I'm a casual gamer with N64. I want to get into a handful of games. I don't want to spend an arm and a leg. So this popped up, I started doing some research on it, and the fact that you can play every single game that you want to load onto that micro SD card from this device is just mind-boggling to me. It's a no-brainer. This isn't cheap. I think I spent about $125 for this cartridge here. $125 though for every single game for Nintendo Entertainment System and N64, plus all the hacks and custom games and prototypes and all that stuff, is a great investment. You know, I was going to spend almost more than 3/4 of that for one title. Well, I wasn't gonna, but that was my option. So this is really amazing for that reason. You don't have to go out there and scan the globe for these original games anymore. You don't have to worry about getting a game that's super expensive and then finding out, you know, 3 weeks later after you've played up to the last level that it doesn't work on the last level, which I've heard horror stories of people having that experience. You know, they buy a game, they play it for months and months, they finally get to the end of that game, only to find out that it doesn't work. That's a really terrible experience to have, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And for, you know, the $100+ that this cost, you're gonna go through that just buying a handful of original N64 games, unless you're getting something that's, you know, super unpopular or, you know, whatever the case may be. So I think this is just phenomenal right out the door. Just the idea that you can play every single game for two major consoles off of one particular cartridge on the N64 console. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to plug this into my N64 console, and I'm going to show you on the screen exactly what it looks like when you go in here and you put all your games on it. And I'm going to do some gameplay demos just to show you how flawless the gameplay is, because it is 100% perfect. And I mean that. It's not like emulation where, you know, you're gonna run into some little things that just are a little quirky or just don't work 100%. That's emulation. You know, we're doing the best we can on RetroPie. And with N64, you know, we were able to get through, I'd say, probably about 85–90% of the N64 games, but there are, you know, that 10 to 15% that just don't work with emulation. So with this, you don't have to worry about that. Everything works, everything is just perfect in every way. So without further ado, let me plug this into my N64. I'm going to show you from the screen exactly what you see when you jump into one of these, what the gameplay is like, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so we just loaded our EVERDRIVE 64 X5 cartridge into our N64 console. So this is the screen that you come to as you boot up. And this is going to be up at the top, you see it says US, and then it has A through M, and below that N through Z. So this is just broken up. These are your US releases for N64 games. So if we jump in here, you can see we have all of our games in alphabetical order. This particular collection here is 8 pages, so we could just scroll over through the different pages using our D-pad right, just to navigate through the pages. So I'll back up, we'll see we have this exact same thing here from N to Z. And then down here you'll see we have our European releases, Japanese releases, a bunch of different other collections and settings here. We have hacks, homebrew, translations, tools. Last thing I want to point out before we get into some gameplay demos is this is the NES emulator, so this is all of our Nintendo Entertainment System games. So if we jump in here, you can see very similar layout. This is going to be by the letter, so you can see if we were looking for titles that started with B, we go down to B, we have 6 pages for this particular letter, and same exact thing. We just navigate through all these different pages. We can see all these different games that are available to us, so laid out exactly the same way as N64, but it is really nice to be able to take advantage of the NES emulator that is built into the EVERDRIVE 64 X5 cartridge. Alright, so we're going to jump into a bunch of different N64 games here just to do a brief gameplay demo of a couple different titles, and then we'll jump out and we'll talk about this EVERDRIVE 64 X5 a little bit more.
Batting, the second baseman, Carlos Guillen.
Strike one.
Batting second, the shortstop, Alex Rodriguez.
Strike one.
He's gone!
Batting third, the center fielder, Ken Griffey Jr.
Strike. Strike two.
Alright, so we just jumped into those gameplay demos. I think you have a firm understanding now of what exactly this bad boy does, what it's capable of, and what the experience is like. These gameplay demos were phenomenal. The quality is there, there's no lags, there's no delays, there's no issues whatsoever. You know, it's not like emulation, like I said before. Nothing against RetroPie. I mean, I'm a huge RetroPie fan, if you can't tell from the name. Nothing bad to say about any type of emulation, really. Emulation, though, is doing the best that you can to emulate those original games. There's nothing like being able to jump on the original console and dive in right into these games. This is the closest thing you could do to that. You know, apart from tracking down all the different games for N64, you would spend an absolute fortune and probably a lifetime trying to find reliable games, you know, that are fully original. So this is the next best thing, and this is just amazing in my opinion. I couldn't say enough nice things about this product. EVERDRIVE 64 is just phenomenal. And I'm gonna put together a card here like I have. It'll be the exact card actually, with all the N64 games on it, all the Nintendo Entertainment System games on it, everything you need to get started with the EVERDRIVE 64 X5 N64 cartridge here. So I'm gonna put a direct link in the description below to pick up one of these on Amazon. That's probably the most reliable place to get it from, apart from, you know, going direct from EVERDRIVE, which you can certainly do. But I got mine on Amazon, came in, I think it came the next day. I bought it on a Friday, it came on Saturday with Amazon Prime. So really a great place. And, you know, if you have any issues, Amazon is always just super great about returns and all of that. So you can't beat the customer service there. So again, direct link in the description below for that. And when I get the card figured out and it's available, just check the description below. I'll add a direct link for that card as well, so you'll be able to get, you know, all those N64 and Nintendo Entertainment System games, as well as the hacks, the prototypes, the custom games, all that stuff. So that's gonna do it for today. If you enjoyed this video, smash the like button for me. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do a whole bunch of different videos based around retro gaming. We do product reviews like this one, gameplay demos, tutorials, just a little bit of everything on here. And of course, check us out online on our website, www.retropieguy.com. Thanks for watching.